in just a second.
And yeah, it's Overgrowth. This guy down 0-2. He needs to win the next 3 games in a row if he wants to keep his DreamHack winter hopes alive. Representing Team Liquid, he is Hero.
Got to really turn this around. I mean, he is a very, very emotional player. Having a big side there, not a good sign.
Not at all. This guy needs just 1 map win away from moving on, trying to get back up to the top here from the lower bracket. From Team Liquid as well, he is TaeJa.
Wants that revenge on Life, who knocked him out of the winner's contention yesterday.
Yeah,
very convincingly.
When I think about players that beat TaeJa, like, it's rarely ever someone that beats TaeJa consistently. And Life has, he's officially done that twice.
Well,
so.
He is the world champion, Nathanius, so no surprises there. And I'm very, very excited to see how Life is going to be playing in that winner's bracket a little bit later today as well.
Yeah, it's really cool because it gives us, you know, like TaeJa rarely has like these stories of players he struggles against because he's just so damn good. But he really has quite a climb to make, you know. So he's been kicked down the ladder at the start. He has to fight his way in. Life's just like waiting up there. Well, unless First pulls a miracle out. Hey,
it could happen. First seems to be in very good form, and he was a IEM champion before. So we'll have to wait and see how that's going to turn out. A lot of exciting games today.
Yeah. So far on this map from TaeJa, looks just like a standard Reaper opening. Most likely, you know, command center, reactor. But both TaeJa and MMA have kind of been favoring these factory-based plays in the mid game. And you know, this wasn't that popular a little while ago. A lot of people were opening up 3 barracks because if the Protoss was greedy, you could very easily go for things like a combat shield shove, which was really popular at the Intel Extreme Masters Toronto, as well as, you know, concussive shell pushes. Polt is one of the guys that really like to use those in WCS, but the factory play really trying to put pressure on Protoss players these days.
Yeah, I love the new style actually. I think it's really cool to deal with oracles, to deal with blink stalker timings, and now it looks like we are going to see Reactor on that barracks and a Reaper Scout, which I like a lot considering how aggressive Hero has been. It should be great to get a good scout off with that Reaper.
I love where Hero put the probe too, just outside, you know, any sane path that a Reaper would take. So able to keep that alive, he can at least confirm. And if he gets in, like seeing that it's a factory tells you a lot as a Protoss. You really don't want to do anything too crazy if they're going factory because they're delaying things like stims so much that you can afford to be a little bit greedier, not too much so, but as long as you have detection and the, you know, a mine doesn't get in your base, you have a lot of room to work with. And the probe does get in, slips right by. He sees, okay, factory, 1 gas, you're not doing anything insane, but I will have probably keep my mothership core at home, for example.
Let's hope soon, Nathanius. And yeah, great scout there from the probe. Sees absolutely everything. It's going to give him at least a little bit of time, a little bit of a... You can just kind of sit back and relax, like, okay, I know what you're doing.
Still going Twilight.
But still going Twilight. It seems to be Hero's choice of poison today, and I mean, it's been hasn't really worked out for him so far.
Yeah, it is interesting. The amount of time that it takes to get Blink, you're rarely going to have it in time to deal with this drop, so you're usually just preparing yourself for the next stage of the game, which is assuming that you can defend against something like this. Now, important to note, TaeJa has swapped his factory onto the reactor, and this could be a little bit of what we saw MMA do on Deadwing versus Stardust, where he just got out a handful, or excuse me, Patience, where he just got a handful of Hellions, just runs them by to scout and also maybe pick off a few probes. So it doesn't need to be that mine drop play, but he still, you know, Hero still has to think about this either way, but
I mean, it can end games if you get a good Hellion run by and you line up the probes, you kill a lot of them. We've seen this time and time again, and yeah, the Medivac is coming out now. It's going to have a full drop of Marines with these Hellions.
So he's still building Hellions. This, I've only seen every now and again. I know Polt has actually done this in quite a few of his online qualifiers for those aforementioned IEN events, but you know, some Protoss players tell me they actually really have a hard time dealing with this, like you drop into the main base or something, you force that foot to overcharge, or you get all the probes to leave, and then you run the Hellions up the front, or you know, vice versa, basically, trying to really pull the Protoss around. And
yeah, I really like this style a lot. I've seen this before in Pro League and in GSL. It can do so much damage if the Protoss isn't really suspecting it, but we do see a lot of Stalkers coming out already.
It's very risky.
Blink halfway done as well, but I mean, the Reaper saw everything, so TaeJa knows exactly what's up. He knows he has to make this happen now if he wants to make it happen at all. Otherwise, Blink will be underway and it'll just get destroyed, essentially.
Yeah, things will get quite tricky for him. So here comes the drop into the main base. Now, there are, you know, that handful of Stalkers. It's not like there's a Widow Mine to anchor his defense. The Mothership Core is working away on those rocks, so Hellions run into the natural expansion.
A lot of damage.
Picking off a few probes.
Oh, so much damage, actually. That's 7 probes down already, going into the main base, lighting them up. 10 more go down, but that's a lot of Stalkers. He should be getting out of here if he cannot really trade with this many.
Yeah.
And he does.
Well, he got exactly what he needed out of that. You take out that many probes when your opponent is setting themselves up for 2-base blink without any real tech. Like, he got the robotics facility, sure, but there's no Robo Bay. He doesn't have any forges. There's nothing here that says to me late game just yet, unless he starts up charge and puts a Templar Archives, and even then, that strategy is quite bad versus Terran. So Hero's gonna warp in more units offensively, but there's already 2 bunkers.
Hero's just counterattacking. He's going all in from here. We saw him blinking down the map here. He wants to make this counterattack happen, but 2 bunkers already. Should be sitting pretty sweet here. Stim halfway done as well. Needs to get those SCVs up to repair it though. We could risk it going down.
He's building 2 Marauders, 2 Marines, and a tank at a time. So he has a very powerful setup of production. Now this is a big moment here. Blinks in 2 of those Stalkers though getting caught. Not quite so good. He's going to go for the tech lab on the factory. Deny any future tanks from being made. That Stim is quite vulnerable too.
Yeah, he's got to be very careful. He cannot afford to lose Stim. Trading with the Stalkers. Nice blink back here. Trading with SCVs, getting rid of as many as he can, but he has to man the bunkers as well.
He has a scan as well, so if he can pick off the Observer well after forcing these blinks, yes he does. This means Hero cannot blink straight back into the main. He has to go through these bunkers, and now the tank, well, just like we talked about on King's Sejong Station, the tank is without, you know, it's not really in a position where you can dive on it yet.
Yeah, no, especially that far back behind a bunker. And yeah, very kind of sloppy play with the Observer getting picked off like that. He should have been suspecting a scan would go down. Yeah. And he's going for the front again, but that tank is up doing so much damage. Cancels that bunker. But he's going to need more than that if he wants to kind of catch up in this game.
Yep, this is a very tricky position to be in. Hero's been pumping out lots of probes in the meantime. He's only just now, though, at the 10.5-minute mark, started to mine the gas in his natural. His tech super slowed down by all of this. You know, we talked about how he had the robotics facility. Well, now he's just starting his first forge. Nothing like charges on the way. Doesn't have a robotics bay coming in. No Templar archives. He's just playing around with gateway units. And, you know, as this supply rises for TaeJa, his army just gets better and better versus that.
Yeah, we're just going to see a huge timing at some point. We do see 2 engineering bays go down. So TaeJa also wants to catch up with these upgrades. He had to invest in a few other techs before he could really go there to defend against this. But yeah, I kind of feel like he's just going to be building up Medivacs, building Marauder Marine, and just go for the kill because everything else of Hero is so far behind.
Yeah, with Stim, there's not really, you know, you don't really win head-to-head fights with Stalkers against Stim to Bio. It's just not how it works. You need to have Colossi. Now, the robotics bay is coming in, but we've reached this point now where Hero's not trying to be like crazy aggressive. He's actually just trying to poke at TaeJa enough that he stays in his base. Because if TaeJa gets to Hero's base right now, those Stalkers will all die instantly. Even with the Nexus cannon firing, it's not going to be enough. The Immortal will help anchor him down a bit more, but he needs that Colossus.
Yeah, he really needs it ASAP. Getting a mole is going to help for sure, and yeah, halfway done is the armor, which is going to be very, very important in this fight. I think he should have it done by the time he gets to the natural, so long as he's chrono boosting it.
Yeah. During all of this, by the way, TaeJa did squeeze out a 3rd command center. It's just now finishing moving into an orbital. So, you know, speaking as far as the economy goes, TaeJa is in about as good of a position as you can really ask to be. He'd like to float that over soon, most likely, but not a huge problem right now. And he actually is going to float it over and take his 3rd base.
So, yeah, he has a great transition here. He's just playing into the mid game. His strongest part, I think, the strongest timing for TaeJa is the mid game. He loves to macro hard. And he's so comfortable because he does have the composition advantage. He has he defended everything Hero has thrown at him, and he did a lot of economic damage early on.
Yeah, these Stalkers are out on the map, trying to be annoying. He sees that command center, plopped it down. He has his own 3rd base on the way. 1-1, coming reasonably close to finishing, and I wonder, he did kill that pylon. So
he did.
Hero knows there's an army over there. I think he just warped in 5 Stalkers as well. But TaeJa just threatening the big drop plays.
It could do a lot of damage. I mean, it doesn't look like there's too much in the main either.
I really, you know, he could have, like, he does not, he actually didn't see, like, the robotics bay, I don't think, but he's still just building medevacs. Like, he's not really worried about Vikings just yet. And I find this slightly surprising. He's even building Widow Mines too, so maybe he's not 100% sure where Hero's going from here, or he just feels that confident that he doesn't need Vikings.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have seen in the past Terrans kind of really skimp out on Vikings for quite some time and just invest in a lot of bio, go for multiple attacks, multiple drops here. A big blink forward. I think I agree with that. Losing so many Stalkers here. Gonna have to get back there because there's just 2 Colossi with that army.
I mean, trading out Marines for Stalkers is not bad, but he's got a flanking force coming into the right side. 2 Colossi exposed, gets one of them going for 2. Marines do get cleaned up. If you only a handful of Marauders here to try to take this out, and that Immortal still doing a pretty good job of keeping TaeJa away. But, I mean, TaeJa, these trades, you know, don't be fooled. They're going very well for him. He's up 30 supply. He's got his 1-1 upgrades. His armory is done. He's producing Vikings. He's moving up now to 8 or 9 barracks. He's got a fantastic amount of production. He's going up to 8 racks. So he's going to be producing absurd numbers of units in the next few minutes.
He can afford to trade like this because his third base was up so much,
Yes.
so much ahead of what Heroes is. His only finish now. He's finally saturating it. TaeJa has complete momentum of this game. He's making the correct composition to deal with exactly what Hero has. Hero kind of going for a curveball, making the Dark Templar Shrine. Wants to try and do some economic damage, some counter-attacking here to kind of catch up again. But no Templar tech yet. So he's going to have to make a lot of Colossi and, you know, kind of start upgrading a lot more because we see 2-2 on the way already for TaeJa.
TaeJa has played a pretty flawless series so far. Could be looking to end it if he can get a really good fight here. He has a lot of Viking production coming in, so he doesn't have to commit yet. Goes on the third base, takes a couple shots, he's going to move back. And if these Stalkers blink trying to chase, there's a 4 or so Widow Mines. He's even brought the tank, you know, commonly known as one of those units that can lose you TVP. But he's very confident. He's got a position that I don't really think is breakable at the moment.
It seems that way, and yeah, that tank could help out a little bit against these Zealots, getting rid of some of the shields here, but a huge blink in here.
Forward, and the Stalkers blink under the Vikings, and the Widow Mines immediately detonate.
Yeah, and the tank helped out a little bit with that as well. Not many Stalkers left here, warping in more Zealots. I didn't know about this.
What a cool idea, just put the Widow Mines where if the Stalkers blink for them, they get hit.
Yeah, it's a brilliant idea here, and I mean, it's going to do so much work against these Zealots too.
Ooh.
Oh, they're taking so much damage, and everything is just getting evaporated here for Hero. He's going to have to pull back again. Immortal gets caught out.
TaeJa up almost 100 supply. There's a single Dark Templar here, you know, just a scan away from basically winning this game, as that last Colossus does not have enough support to hold this push by itself. 2-2 upgrades, by the way, are only about 30 seconds or so away from finishing for TaeJa. He'll have a massive advantage at that point, and he's just trying to hammer it in right now. It's like, yeah, run, Colossus. There's nothing here to help you. And with this next scan, killing every last unit that Hero has, TaeJa looks like he's going to be knocking his teammate out of the tournament once again.
It looks like at a very, very, very solid 3-0, completely one-sided series here. I mean, TaeJa is just a beast at this matchup. And Hero, you know, he didn't have a very convincing series yesterday, not a very convincing results. So not too surprised it kind of ended up like this, but still a bit disappointing.
Yeah. Tough series for Hero, absolutely nothing going right, and TaeJa showing once again why he finished top 4 at BlizzCon, why he is one of the best players in the world at StarCraft, and you know, doing it in a pretty cool fashion. He mixed up his builds all 3 games, and he did a great job of holding everything that Hero threw his way, picking off the DTs, picking off these Nexus, the single Immortal, trying to hold the fort all on his own.
Not going to happen here. DTs get whopped in again. Hero doesn't really want to leave the game despite being down 160 supply.
Yeah, this is looking like it's going to finally be it, Moonglade. GG, TaeJa takes the 3-0 and advances on, defeating his teammates.
GG.
Really
Had to
well
swallow
played.
that loss before leaving, unfortunately, but yeah, very, very convincing win there from TaeJa.
Yeah, did not seem to be many holes in his play, the way that he reacted, the way he positioned his units. Pretty much flawless. The build order choices that he went for dealt very well with everything that Hero wanted to throw at him. And yeah, just solid play all the way throughout from the Team Liquid Terran player. Another Terran advancing on at DreamHack Winter.